So this particular helpful hint may not make complete sense if you have not yet watched the material in Unit 3, which deals with interactive text and using that text in selection statements to pick a course of action. But even if you haven't watched that material yet, you can probably understand the basic idea of what's going on here. And this was kind of a nifty problem that one of your classmates contacted me about. I've stripped down their code quite a bit to make it work. But if you watch what happens right now, when I run this program, I get a really simple thing. The penguin asks, pick a time for the party between 1 and 6. Let me say 4 o'clock. Right? And the idea is that when this happens, that we're supposed to have the penguin then say that Ben is going to have a pool party at 4 o'clock, and then it's supposed to ring 4 times. But you will notice that when we do that, it only actually rings once. We only hear it ring once. It was kind of a funky little noise in there, but it only rang once. Let me actually hit 6 just for the longest one of these. So this is supposed to ring 6 times. Listen carefully. So there, that time you heard that little sort of funky little humming sound in there as that played right at the end of that sound. Well, let me explain what's actually happening right there when we're playing that. If you look at this code, the main thing is this part right here, where this person has said, hey, if the person told me that it's 1 o'clock, then play the sound 1 time. And if the time is 2 o'clock, then 2 times play the bell toll, and so on and so forth. And so down here, when we got 6 times just a second ago, said if the time equals 6, then 6 times, repeat 6, play the sound bell toll. And yet we only heard it once. What's going on? Well, this is an interesting problem, and the solution is actually really simple. The challenge to what's going on here is a little more complex. Let me show you what's actually going on in the code. I want you to actually notice that there's 2 versions of play sound. There's the version I used in Unit 3, the play sound cymbal crash and the play sound, girl laughing. And I actually, in Unit 3, specifically did the play sound because that basically, what that says is, start this sound effect running, but as soon as you've started it running, move on to the next one. So what I sent play sound cymbal crash and then said play sound laugh, well, it sounded like they were happening at the same time. Well, the same thing is going on here. When I say if time equals 6, we come in and we start the bell tolling, and then we immediately come along and say, now start it a 2nd time, and a 3rd time, and a 4th time, and a 5th time. And the fact is, Scratch does this very quickly, and so it starts those 6 sounds all practically simultaneously. And so our ears only hear it once because they're all playing at the same time. And that hum that's playing in there right at the end is kind of a residual of the fact that they're playing simultaneously. Instead of that, what we want to do is to use the play sound until done. What this one then says is start the sound playing, but stay on this block until the sound is completely finished, and only then move on. And so I'm not even going to bother replacing all of these right now. I'm just going to do it in the 6. We're going to turn it to the bell toll. So play the bell toll 6 times, play the sound bell toll until done, and then it's going to replay it a 2nd time. And so now, if we play this, so we'll say 6 times, and now we move on. We say Ben's having a pool party at 6 o'clock, and then it should play 6 unique times. Let's listen. Now the bell toll is kind of a long sound, so you have to wait for it, but we hear 6 unique sounds because it doesn't leave this block and move on, which in essence comes back to it, until the sound has completely finished playing. And so you have to decide which one of those you want, the play sound or the play sound until done. And it all depends on the context of what you're playing. So there's one of the helpful hints. Pay attention to whether you want play sound or play sound until done.